stopped by failure? Do you think being labeled as a failure is like the worst thing that can happen to you? And do you need to get everything just perfect before stepping into a brand new situation? If you said yes to those questions, you're in the right place. You know, I failed at many things in life, from friendships to jobs, to exams, to starting my own business, and even learning new skills. And I continued failing at things until I learned to change my relationship with failure. And in this video, I'll share some tips and suggestions that I used to change this mindset. If you're here for the first time, my name is Kiran. I'm an author and I write about emotional resilience and wellness. And the link to my book is in the description below. Most of you watching this video perhaps grew up with the belief that failure was something bad and it had to be avoided at all cost. If you failed in school, as an example, your parents reminded you every single day that you had to study and that failure was not an option. So quite early on in childhood, you form this unhealthy relationship with failure where you look at failure as something to be avoided. Rather than looking at failure as a part of success, you think that failure is opposite of success. And in doing so, you stop trying out new things because God forbid if you were to fail. So the very first step in overcoming failure is that you change the relationship you have with failure. How do we do that? So I'm going to digress for just a moment and give you an example. Say you wanted to improve your relationship with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your spouse, and you went to a relationship coach, asking them, how do I improve my relationship? Chances are that your coach might say that one of the best ways to improve your relationship with, let's say, your girlfriend is to spend more time with her. So in the same vein, if you want to change and improve your relationship with failure, it's only fair to say that you need to spend more time with failure. And trust me, I tried it and it actually works. And here's how you do it. So start asking yourself every single day, what did I fail at today? And write down all those failures in your notebook, in your journal, every single day. Like 2 years ago, I was just fed up with my relationship with failure. Like I was really stuck in life, and yet I wouldn't get out of my comfort zone because God forbid if I were to fail. And so I started an experiment where I asked myself every single day, what did you fail at today? Now, some of my failure experiments were actually quite silly, like asking random strangers for a $5 bill or $10 bill, knowing full well that they would say no. Other times, I would ask someone if they would like to pay for my coffee or for my lunch, again, knowing that they would say no. And every single day I would come home and write in my journal what I failed at. And very slowly, this experiment of really daring myself to fail at something completely changed my relationship with failure. So instead of looking at failure as something to be avoided, I started looking at failure as something you experience when you step in a brand new situation. So as a suggestion, I would invite you to take on a 30-day experiment, even a 90-day experiment, and dare yourself to fail at something every single day, and then write it in your notebook. Because what's going to happen is, after a period of say few weeks, you look at your notebook and you'll see your entries from day one, and what you will realize is that things that you were afraid of on the first day no longer bother you. And so slowly, you start building courage, you start building resilience, and eventually you get to a point where you're not stopped by failures. The second suggestion in overcoming failure is that you pay attention to how you define success in your life. Do you define success as black or white? As in, you're either on the top or you're at the bottom. And if that is how you define success, you will find it much harder to overcome failure mindset. Now, in contrast, if you base your success of, let's say, last 3 months on questions like, how much did I grow in past 3 months? What is it that I know today that I didn't know 3 months ago? What new things did I try in past 3 months? And when you start gauging your success in this way, you will be stopped by failures a lot less. The next suggestion I have may sound a bit extreme, and it is that you fall in love with failures. And I know it sounds a bit extreme, but actually it's quite practical. Failure is only found in the unknown. Like if you can predict the outcome of every single action that you will take, you are only operating in the realm of what you know, and failure is not found in that realm. Failure is found in the unknown. And if you failed at something, it means you tried something new. And not many people do that. The very fact that you dared, the very fact that you stepped into the unknown is a reason alone for you to celebrate it. Chances are, if you struggle with failure, you might also struggle with perfectionism. And if that is so, make sure you check out my video on overcoming perfectionism, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below. Another powerful tool for overcoming failure is that you ask yourself the so what question, like so what if you fail? And as you reflect on this question, you'll start to get present to your limiting beliefs. I remember when I started asking myself this question, like so what if I fail? And I remember some of my top beliefs at that time were, if I failed at so-and-so, it would be a huge blow to my ego. If I failed, then my friends and family won't think highly of me. If I failed, I would have to start all over again. And then if I failed, it would just suck. And once I became aware of my limiting beliefs, the next step I knew was to change them. Like every time I would think how failure would be a blow to my ego, I would remind myself that I am a spirit having a human experience. I'm not my ego. I know it sounds so obvious, right? But sometimes we are so unconscious, to our thoughts, to our beliefs, that it really takes an effort to interrupt that normal mode of thinking and choose something different. So as you start to become aware of your limiting patterns, your limiting beliefs, then you have the power to change them. I hope these suggestions were helpful. Please only take what resonates, discard the rest. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.